The sun burned hot across the Arizona desert, casting waves of heat over the sand. Jack Callahan, a weathered cowboy, was fixing the fence along his ranch when his mustang, Dusty, grew restless. The horse pawed at the ground, snorting sharply, ears twitching toward the canyon ridge. Jack knew Dusty's instincts were rarely wrong. Slinging his rifle over his shoulder, he followed the animal's lead. They rode hard toward the ridge, where vultures circled in the sky. Jack's gut tightened. Something or someone was out there needing help, and Dusty was determined to show him. Near the canyon's edge, Dusty stopped suddenly and neighed, his head jerking toward the rocks. Jack dismounted, crouching low as he spotted a figure sprawled in the dust. A young Apache woman, her dress torn, lay bleeding from a wound in her side. Her breathing was shallow, her face pale but defiant. She clutched a small knife in her hand, ready to defend herself even in weakness. Jack raised his palms to show peace. "Easy now," he said softly. "I ain't here to harm you." The woman's dark eyes studied him with suspicion, but exhaustion overcame her. Jack knew the dangers. Tensions between settlers and Apache were fierce, and helping her could make him a target. Yet his code of honor outweighed the risk. He tore strips of cloth from his shirt and pressed them against her wound. She winced but did not cry out. "Name's Jack," he said, though she gave no reply. Gently, he lifted her onto Dusty's back, steadying her as the mustang carried them home. Jack had brought strays and wounded animals before, but never an Apache woman. Something deep within told him this choice would change his life forever. At the cabin, Jack laid her on his cot and stoked the fire. He cleaned the wound with whiskey, earning a sharp glare from her. "Hurts less than dying," he muttered, wrapping the bandage tight. She whispered a word in Apache, but he couldn't understand. For 2 days, Jack nursed her carefully. She was strong, her spirit unbroken, refusing food at first until Dusty nudged her gently with his muzzle. A faint smile crossed her lips, the first Jack had seen. She accepted water, then broth. Slowly, the barrier between them began to crumble. On the third morning, Jack found her sitting upright, watching him with clear, sharp eyes. "Naya," she said at last, pointing to herself. Jack nodded. "Naya," he repeated. She touched his chest lightly. "Jack." Their names exchanged, a fragile trust was born. Through broken English and hand gestures, she explained she had been ambushed by rustlers while protecting her people's horses. Jack's jaw tightened. He hated rustlers with a passion. He swore quietly that those men would pay. For now, though, Naya's recovery was his only mission, and Dusty never left her side. As days turned into weeks, Naya regained her strength. She insisted on helping around the ranch, carrying buckets and tending to the fire despite her healing wound. Jack admired her resilience, though he warned her not to push too hard. One evening, she taught him an Apache song while Dusty grazed nearby. Her voice was soft yet powerful, carrying through the desert air. Jack felt something stir in his chest he hadn't felt since his youth, an ache for connection, for belonging. Naya's presence filled the cabin with warmth, making the lonely cowboy's home feel alive again. But peace never lasted long in the West. One afternoon, gunshots cracked across the valley. Rustlers had returned, searching for stolen cattle and fresh prey. Jack grabbed his rifle, heart pounding. Naya stood tall beside him, refusing to hide. Dusty whinnied, stomping the ground as if ready for battle. The rustlers spotted the cabin and rode hard toward them. Jack and Naya exchanged a look. This was the fight she had warned him about. She retrieved her knife, and Jack handed her a pistol. Side by side, they prepared to defend their fragile new bond. The first rustler charged, and Jack's rifle barked, sending him tumbling from his horse. Naya fired the pistol with steady hands, grazing another's arm. Dusty charged forward, kicking and biting, scattering the riders. The battle raged in a storm of dust, gunfire, and shouts. Jack took a bullet to the arm but kept fighting, protecting Naya at all costs. Finally, the surviving rustlers fled into the hills, leaving their wounded behind. Breathing hard, Jack lowered his rifle. Naya dropped the pistol, her chest heaving. Together, they had survived the storm. Together, they had won. After the fight, Naya tended Jack's wound with the same care he had shown her weeks earlier. She spoke softly in Apache, words he couldn't understand but felt deeply. As she wrapped his arm, her hand lingered on his. Their eyes met, and for the first time, no words were needed. Gratitude, respect, and something more passed between them. Dusty snorted softly from outside the cabin as though approving. Jack realized that in saving Naya, he had found more than just purpose. He had found someone who gave meaning to his lonely existence. Weeks later, word spread that Jack Callahan had joined forces with the Apache to guard the valley from rustlers. Naya remained by his side, her spirit fierce, her heart open. Dusty carried them both across the desert plains, loyal as ever. What began as a horse's instinct to save a life had forged a bond stronger than steel. Jack often thought back to the moment Dusty had pawed at the ground, insisting he follow. That single choice had changed everything, bringing him not just love but a family and a new future in the Wild West.